Hey guys and gals, welcome to Brain Thoughts. In today's video, we will be discussing a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is, of course, caffeine. We will discuss what is caffeine, why caffeine became the drug of choice for soccer moms and everyday people, how caffeine affects your body, its side effects, some stigmas against caffeine, and why it is so important to us as a society. So without further ado, let's get into it. Have you woken up recently, hit the snooze button 3 or 4 times before rolling out of bed and heading right to the coffee pot? I know I have for sure. And if you have too, don't worry, you're not alone. Roughly 64% of Americans drink coffee daily, and that does not take into account other sources of caffeine like energy drinks or teas. So why do we rely upon that classic drink with 2 creams and 1 sugar so much? Well, I believe this quote by Thomas Jefferson sums it up best. Caffeine, the favorite drink of the civilized world. I do not think that phrase rings more true at any point in history than today in our time in modern society. But what does caffeine do to you? You ever wonder about that? Well, let's talk about it. Coffee and the caffeine molecule are CNS stimulants, or central nervous system stimulants, which cause our bodies to be more alert and focused. The caffeine molecule, once it gets metabolized in the body, goes to the brain through the blood-brain barrier and induces alertness that we feel after we drink that first sip. That wakefulness you feel, that is thanks to the caffeine molecule. This happens because of what's called our fight or flight response, which induces our body to become hyper-focused and ready for whatever is about to happen to it. This could be getting ready to attack a predator 20,000 years ago, getting ready to go work out, or just trying to stay awake for your shift today. When you need to be alert, caffeine is always the first go-to in whatever form you desire. So you have to wonder, how did big brand coffee shops capitalize on this? Well, they made it taste good, of course. Caffeine in itself is a bitter and not very tasty bean, but once you add dairy products like milk and creamer and some sugars, the massive taste, suddenly that triple shot caramel beverage in your hand is so much more enjoyable to consume. So now that your drink tastes appealing and you drink it like water, everything is fine and there's nothing else going on in your body, right? No other side effects? Well, not quite, sadly. While you are enjoying all of this alertness, many other effects on your body you may not realize are actually happening. So what are the side effects of caffeine? There are many side effects. Side effects of caffeine include alertness, as previously mentioned, which is great. Increased heart rate, get your heart going, your blood pumping. Dilation of the blood vessels to increase that blood pressure. And more focus, which sounds wonderful. You're more alert, you're pumped, you're ready to go. But not till you look at the negative side effects. Caffeine also induces irritability, decreases calcium in your bones, causes heartburn, diarrhea, and tremors, just to name a few. But one of the biggest side effects of caffeine is the withdrawal symptoms that can occur in roughly 50% of people who do not get their morning cup of coffee in. Now, luckily, I am not one of those people, but having been around them, and you all know them, they're irritable, they're cranky, they can't do anything until they have that first cup of coffee. There are many reasons for this, but the main reason is just how caffeine actually affects your brain. You see, caffeine binds to adenosine receptors in your body, and thus decreases the feeling of tiredness due to the alertness it creates. But that's not without side effects, as many regular coffee drinkers know. That 1 cup of coffee that first got you through the whole shift now takes 2 or 3 cups, if not more, to get the same effect. This is called a tolerance, which happens with many substances, and caffeine included. This is when your body gets accustomed to the level of the drug, like caffeine, and you need higher and higher doses to get the same effect. Now, this is not said that you need 50 cups of coffee to feel alert, but eventually you'll teeter off to about 400 milligrams a day, which is about 4 cups of coffee. But let's get one thing out of the way. Caffeine is not bad. Caffeine, all those pre-workout supplements and things people are complaining about, they're not as bad as you think. The main reason that people fear caffeine and stimulants is sugary energy drinks and how sugar negatively affects your body. You all have felt it, that jitteriness, anxious feeling you get after chugging some brand of energy drink. Well, that's not inherently because of the caffeine in it. It's much because of the sugar content. Having 50 to 60 grams of sugar in that one substance is going to make you feel quite jittery. And if you don't believe me, buy two of the same energy drinks, one sugar free, one full of sugar. On different days, consume them and tell me how you feel. Now, if you disregard the placebo effect and, the thought that you're going to feel jittery and the psychosomatic symptoms, I believe be surprised that you don't feel that jittery. You don't feel as amped up on just caffeine alone. So what about the safe energy and natural energy products with caffeine? Well, don't let marketing campaigns fool you. Like many substances you take, caffeine is in fact a drug, but everything is a drug. They're just chemicals, natural or not, that get broken down and used by your body. Now, like I said, caffeine binds to the adenosine molecules in your body, which adenosine is used in, for example, in the ER, doctors will give it to people with SVT to lower their heart rate and calm yourself down. So caffeine, in a sense, is an antagonist to adenosine. So a lot of people take it. What benefit does it offer? Well, caffeine can be beneficial to those with certain mental disorders or medical problems like ADHD and depression, because it can lead to increased neurotransmitter production. Now, consuming these products can increase production of dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and acetylcholine, which all play functions in your body, all play an important role that improve mood. Now, you may not necessarily feel it and think about it, but this is constantly happening in your body. So why do we like caffeine in a cup of coffee? Why is it such a staple in our society? Well, from a psychological perspective, we, especially here in America, use coffee as a social tool to bond over. You can go out to coffee with your friends, with your family, with potential business owners or associates, and your boss. Coffee is much like music, where everyone has their own unique tastes and flavors. And while not everyone may like black coffee, most people will always be up for a hot cup of coffee and enjoy the effects of it. Thank you for listening to me ramble on in this episode of Brain Thoughts. I'm your host, Austin Rhodes, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like this video, and stay tuned for more random topics we explore in our brains, our bodies, and we broaden our intellects together. Thank you, my friends. Have a great day.